There we are, and okay, this is a much more traditional lineup. Well, almost traditional. Delta have only put in the one destroyer.
Yes, they've also bought themselves a ZOW, which we didn't saw last. BSW side is a little more unconventional. We've got the triple destroyer here,
Okay.
as well as the Midway.
Now that's interesting because conventional logic says Hakuryu does a better job than Midway in this situation. More squadrons in the air, and more of them fighters, particularly on the 422 loadout. Midway, of course, manages to pack itself some slightly bigger squadrons, and I believe also has deeper... No, it doesn't have deeper pockets anymore, not with the recent nerfs.
Yeah, so with the rebalancing of Hakuryu and Midway loses out a little bit of its fighter reserves. Hakuryu 422 was more or less unaffected because it was the freeload, the two... What was it before? What was the old loadout Hakuryu before they went to 332?
I think Hakuryu's had 422 for a long while.
332
was its balanced loadout, and that was one you tend to see in randoms.
It was 233 though. It changed to 3-2.
Yeah, but the real kicker was the fact that Midway lost so much of its hangar capacity.
Yes, so it was meant to lose 40, then it lost 20 dead.
And just looking at the minimaps, you can see the difference that comes up from both sides having a carrier. Both sides have, well, limited recon feed, and the Hakuryu got its planes up first thanks to those smaller squadrons, and right now Army 2016 is running some pretty solid spotting, so Delta have had advance notice that most of BSW's fleet is heading up towards Point A, and they're splitting, well, one into B, interestingly, the Minotaur, but they're sending some heavy elements over to C and putting a cruiser and destroyer force into A. So they're actually going to try and push all three caps, which is bold.
Yeah, so we've got an interesting fighter war above the UAE Yang now.
It's
Midway
also
fighters a lot of Hakuryu. So here comes a strafe.
Yeah, it's also above the
Strafe's own
Minotaur. Yeah, he was quite willing to do that, but that backfired on him. And
but the Minotaur's now engaging, so...
Yeah, I think Wojak has decided that chunk of airspace has suddenly become far too hot for his fighters. There's a strafe way. He's using a lock and strafe technique. Holds the strafe, does it a little too late, and again burns one of his squadrons in the process. The Yang, I think it was, knocked down that last fight on the Hakuryu. But Wojak's numbers are just going to tell. And yep, there goes the last Hakuryu bird, and okay, Midway has temporarily got air superiority. Now the question is he going to capitalise on that? Because Valin Rista got spotted,
going
of course.
in on the Minotaur.
Yeah, and...
Are these AP dive bombers I want?
Yeah, well, the other question is, will it make a difference? Because US AP bombs against the Minotaur, they don't do very much, and those were high X, judging by the fires they started. Valin Rista's holding his... Damcon for the moment, because we're going to see those torp bombers snap back. Yeah, they go. They lose one. They lose...
Wow, they really did not lose hardly anything for going in on this strike.
They did not. And I think he was mostly looking at the dive bombs, just in case. But Valin Rista now is up against a wall, and torpedo bombers messed their first run, but it's not going to make a difference. 1, 2...
He was too early on the first one, so he didn't take it, so he's going to survive.
Yeah, and he's managed to contain the flooding, but there's another dive bomber squadron looking at him.
Carrier blind drop in. Blind drop. The Zao left the smoke way too early. Dropped by the carrier.
Indeed, and both carriers claiming early kills. But critically, because Delta's Minotaur in B is gone, they've now completed the cap of B. BSW are 2 points to 0 up, and they have gotten rid of a very nasty gunboat.
Yep. Drop on the Shima. Is this going to be a cross drop, or is that torpedo bomber empty? No, it looks like it's going to be a cross drop.
He's looking for the cross drop, but stern drops against the Shimakaze. I mean, best case scenario, those torpedoes are doing 39 knots. Shima with an engine.
Shima's gonna...
And the Shima's got a damaged engine, and that might be enough. And he's turning sideward. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a... Ooh, he was lucky to get away with that. Damaged engine and a fire. Yeah, that could have so easily gone fatally wrong for him.
He's got a lot of torpedoes off, but it looks like they're just going into open water.
Yeah, and with the bombers overhead, he's having real trouble. Ali is not pulling that torp bomber squadron back. He's trading his damage again to make sure that the Shimakaze stays spotted and can't break contact. And again, this is where Clan and King of the Sea differs from randoms. You're less important than your teammate, especially as a carrier. So
Clemson took a lot of damage already. He's down to 4k health. He did get A, but he got lit up quite a lot. I'm going to a 2x.
Indeed, there goes the Shimakaze. Point C is now firmly under Delta's control, but their Conqueror and their Hindenburg are now effectively out of the game for the next 2 minutes. This is really going to get decided up on A and to a lesser extent B. And I hate to say it, but BSW have got something of a numbers advantage up on the northwest of the map.
Yeah, they do. The question is, can they make use of it? Because if they stall here, they're just going to give the Hindenburg and the Conqueror and the Moskva time to come back up and put pressure, or go all the way around, get them in a crossfire, and we know what happens then. And
between you and me, I think that is exactly what I would be doing in Delta's position. I'd be moving the Hindenburg and the Conqueror on the 8 line, just swing them up, use those islands as cover, and just get a nice visual on their heavy elements. Nowhere to hide, brutal crossfire, and it would get very nasty. BSW can break that, but they're going to have to slam hard round and through A in order to do it. And that means that...
Tyrant and Mine are doing that. They're charging right into the middle of A. They've got a Zhao in smoke over right on the edge of the map. They've got the Moskva behind that island.
Indeed. Speculative torpedoes into the smoke. They're trying to flush Gart and Zanzus out. They've actually got Zanzus out of the smoke, but he's not really spotted at the moment. Provided he keeps his guns muzzled, then the only thing that's going to...
dropped here, maybe?
Then all that's going to spot...
There's defensive fire. Still going to get 2 free hits.
Yep.
That's the strafe.
Now the question is, are the dive bombers going to circle, or are they just going to say sod it and barrel on in? Well, they're going to have that decision made for them. Oh, nice strafe there from the fighters. Stripped the worst of it. They decided to just barrel through the defensive fire, and they got 1 hit, but it did start a fire. And I think either Hawaii wasn't flooding, or he burned his damn con a bit too quickly, and now he's not stood up, and he's going to be taking more fire.
Oh, here's the big issue. Conqueror of BSW, Olzawa, he's all alone. No, and there is a fighter lurking, but it's only 1 fighter, literally 1.
Yes, and the enemy bombers from Delta are looking hungry, and they're setting up. Thing is, Conqueror's got a lot of mid-range anti-air. Now, some of it's gone from the high X pounding he's taken, like that, for example, and, well, that's at least 1 fire started. But the bombers are chancing it. Yeah, there we go. So fire's in play. I'd make that 2 burns, depending on his build. But the torpedo bombers...
Fire prevention, it would be 1, but I don't... There it goes. Either that's over time or damn.
Right. I think that's a damn con, given the timing involved.
Here comes the full fighter wave. Okay, they got here in time.
Yeah, now those torp bombers hesitated too long. Okay, he's going for the disruption effects. He's not trying for a strafe, so he's accepting that 1 squadron's gonna get through. There's the strafe. Okay, he caught 1 squadron, but here's the problem. The dive bomber wave's looking as well. He's gonna have to snap back, get that torpedo bomber squadron.
Back in. Got half.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, that was nicely done. I would have gone for disruption on that 2nd squadron.
Will this cause a flood? Looks like a main belt hit.
Is a main belt hit. The question is...
No flood. Or into damn.
983, 962.
Heal up.
No flood, and he has got his new boat button out. So Olzewa definitely got away with that one. That could have been a lot nastier for him. Meanwhile, that punch into A that we were talking about, they're doing it.
Yeah, they're going for it. They've got flushed his Moskva out.
Yeah, Podolier's in trouble. He's got no overlap on his flak. Delta fighters are inbound, but they're not going to really... They're not going to get there in time. However, there's the defensive fire. Podolier's throwing up every ounce of flak he's got. Fighters are still about 6 kilometers out. He's going to get two torpedoes. One, okay, he dumped two, but they were panicked and they're going to go wide. All he has to do is tap his throttle forward a little. One forwards, one astern, airstrike neutralized. This is why groups in high-tier competitive are all about the scouting. It's not about the damage. You're never going to get through a solid air defense with your bombers, not in the early to mid-game.
Conqueror looks like he's running out of map space, first of all. Another torpedo bomb coming in, but I think that'll be picked up by the fight.
That's an isolated squadron. Those guys are...
Or maybe not.
I would say they're dead men flying, but that they might get away with it. I don't think he's going to be able to line up a strafe. Okay, there's the formation shift. And... Disrupted. 3 in the water, and he's turning...
Looks like he's dodged.
Yeah, he's going to dodge that, but in the process, he's going broadside. And he's on fire again.
Well, he had to make a turn to some effect because he's pretty much on the map border. And the island is right there.
Conqueror memes, you may insert at your will. However, Podolier, while he was able to deal with the air attack, he wasn't able to deal with a cross drop from the Yang. So, BSW are breaking through.
They're sacrificing so much to do it. They lost the Hindenburg and the Des Moines in that push. Tanner is back here. He's on good health at least. Yeah,
and Vfred's in serious trouble. He's been caught by the gearing. However, Zanzus is also under fire, but it's from the Montana at 12 kilometers, so it's not necessarily going to be effective. Wow, there goes Vfred. So there goes BSW's last destroyer. They're down to their Montana, their Conqueror, and their Midway. At this point, I would say Delta have got it. They can pretty much hold what they've got at this stage. They're 120 points up, and they can knock down that Conqueror from range.
Here come the torpedo bombers again. They really want this Conqueror.
Well, they haven't got much else to shoot at the moment. There is the Montana. I'm a little surprised that they've repeatedly hit the Conqueror, because there's kind of a rule. You don't hit the same target the same way twice in a row. It makes you predictable. But Ozewa, I don't think the airstrike's his worst problem, honestly. I think it's the barrage of high explosive that's currently raining down on him from Ghost in the Conqueror and Nicodidi in the... Well, I tell a lie. It turns out the Hokurian was his major problem. Wow. Ouch.
Just the town left.
Yeah.
Might be able to take out this Zao at least.
Some pride at least, but we're in the mid-late game. The bombers are starting to tell. Okay, now did Zanzus load defensive? That's the question. And from the way they're knocking down fighters,
might even be the Zao's defense.
Someone's packing defensive. Just look at the amount of flak that's going up.
And nothing.
Well, he was going after the Zao.
Yes.
I must admit, I would have gone for the gearing myself, but torpedoes going well after Silo. They're the gearing's Mark 17s. Not possibly the best torpedoes in the game, but they've got the range, 17 kilometers. But, yeah, LOL 25 at this point. I think we're pretty much reading the last rites here. At least for the match, if not their hopes in the tournament.
Yeah, because they lose this one, they're going to go 2-0 down, and that's the game.
Yes.
I don't foresee this Montana killing everything.
No. He's going to dodge the worst of the torpedoes, though. So,
yes.
Easy torpedo beat there. Saw them coming on his spotter plane, I suspect. However, well, he's got dive bombers coming his way. I think they're high explosive. And they are high explosive, and he's burning in 2 locations. And now the torpedo bombers are looking hungry as well. Circle around, line up, absolutely standard drop onto a turning target. Torpedoes in the water, close range, maybe too close.
A little too close to the first one,
but it didn't matter. The second and third did the job. So, just one isolated Midway, left wondering where all his friends have gone. And he's on fire as well.
Better.
Probably won't stop him cycling his bombers, of course, but the fighters right now have caught his air group directly over the Hindenburg and the Montana, and that's not going to end well for anyone. And the other fight squadron is just harassing the bombers, and I think Wojak at this point is just almost accepting the outfall. He's trying to get a torpedo drop through, but, well, overlapping flak from a cruiser and a tier 10 battleship.
Gets it off.
He's going to get 2. There we go. Probably get a flooding. I think that second torpedo
There is
hit
a
ahead
flood.
of the belt.
No damcon either.
No, but at this stage it's not going to make a difference. He's not popped his repair party either. Another dev is just choosing to soak it out. And there's the GG from Olzeva. I think at this point, yeah, there's nothing he can do. 976, 3 control points. This is going to be done in 30 seconds. At this point, really, they're just trying to farm a little bit of score. Get themselves some... boom, there we go. So, Delta take the match 2-0.